Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Assassin, and we're back with some more content for you. We have some Black Ops 7 news. There is a closed internal playtest that has been kind of leaked. The Xbox side of things apparently had the images posted to like the daily welcome thing because Call of Duty HQ is kind of like all-encompassing of every single Call of Duty. So, of course, the playtest is also kind of mixed in there as well. So we got these screenshots, and when I first saw this one here with the like robot dog, I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. The first thing I noticed was the robot dog. Obviously, it's front and center. And then it says, you know, ready to get your first taste of Parallax. I'm assuming that's like the code name for the game, or maybe the code name for the multiplayer. I don't really know. I'm just guessing. But then I started looking a little bit deeper into the image here. You see people using the Omni movement in the background. But if you look right here, there is a soldier who definitely is wearing some sort of exosuit. And now that is weird because the exosuits are not supposed to be in Black Ops 7. On the COD Pod thing, their podcast, they had mentioned that this is not the case. There's not going to be advanced movement like that. There's just going to be like some type of wall hop. There isn't going to be like actual wall running, something along those lines. Basically, exosuits make zero sense if they're not doing exo movements. I've heard a couple different theories as to why this is the case. The first being they kind of lied and there is going to be exo movement in some form or capacity. They're just kind of keeping that close to their chest. They're trying to gauge the reception to an exo movement, and they're just going to slowly release out more details. And they were trying to like curb some of the criticism in the beginning. If you weren't aware, we've talked about this before, but basically Sledgehammer Games is kind of doing what they've always done in the past here, and they're helping out Treyarch with the multiplayer side of things. It's still obviously going to be a Treyarch game, and they're going to have the final say-so, and it's going to be their direction, but Sledgehammer is supposed to be making the multiplayer. That being said, because there's exosuits, because there is the uplink game mode returning from Advanced Warfare, the running theory is that the exosuit might be exclusive to whoever is holding the uplink ball, or whatever you want to call it, whoever is going to be dunking said object into the scoring position so they can jump around and move. Maybe they have some extra health. We have no confirmation quite yet, but we do have images of people wearing exosuits. Maybe it's just a field upgrade, and maybe that's how they're doing it. I really have no idea. It's just all speculation at the moment, but there's obviously people playing the newest Call of Duty at the moment, internally testing. They are playing between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. That is their schedule for that day, and then they've got a whole bunch of different modes and whatever. But the thing is, this image here you're seeing on your screen of like the robot dog and the exosuits and stuff like that isn't the first image I saw. I first looked at it and I saw this image, and I was looking at it, and it's for the new mode Overload. 2 teams of 6 players each fight to control a neutral EMP device that must be delivered to an enemy HQ for score. Reach the score limit and claim victory by delivering multiple EMP devices. This sounds exactly like Uplink with a different name. I don't really know why they'd change it. Maybe because it's not a Sledgehammer game and it's a Treyarch game, so they gotta switch that up. But when you're looking at this, it doesn't look all that different. Even like the color palette and whatever, and I'm 100% aware that the newest Call of Duty is gonna be more like an expansion. It's gonna be a Modern Warfare 3 situation. I'm okay with that because sometimes that can lead to really great things. Like Modern Warfare 3 was very decent. Sledgehammer Games really knocked it out of the park when it came to post-launch content for that game. But when I first saw this, I was just so uninterested because it looks exactly like Black Ops 6. If you put this next to another, screenshot of Black Ops 6, you would have no idea. Yes, they're supposed to be in the same line of games. Yes, they are a part of the same series. It's running the same engine as far as I'm aware. A lot of the assets are probably reused. It's so similar. I'm really disinterested. But what it really got me thinking about is Vanguard was a part of the new Call of Duty HQ system, and that felt completely different because of the whole like thematical change. But not only just the thematical change of going back in time, it also felt like the colors were different. It felt like there was a different style there. This feels so samey. It's almost eye-wateringly bad. I just honestly wish Call of Duty was doing something different. I was kind of hoping for that first screenshot to be the driving force. Make Advanced Warfare 2. I'm totally fine with that. Just do something different. People that have been playing this series for as long as I have, and people have even been playing this long before I started, and I can't imagine how they're feeling because it's just like we kind of expect like a different set of DNA with each Call of Duty iteration. It's always something different. That's why it was so nice when you would go from Black Ops to Modern Warfare, and then we started mixing in Sledgehammer, who had Advanced Warfare, and we were like, oh wow, this is really getting interesting. So I mean, every year you're gonna have something new and exciting, fresh. It's gonna have that same Call of Duty Duty feel, but you're gonna have a different type of theme, you're gonna have different systems, and because they've mixed everything together, and this has been talked about many times, and I'm gonna continue to talk about it, because it's all inside of the Call of Duty HQ, which I thought was kind of a great idea. You could have all of your games in one space. It's also causing issues like this where everything is so similar, you can't even tell the difference between screenshots. So at this point, you might as well just make it a full-on live service title and just continue to provide updates and expansions, and don't even bother releasing a yearly game like they continue to do. But of course, that's not Activision's style. They would much rather release a new game every year, get you to spend that $60 a pop. Now it's $70, and then you got to get the expansions, new microtransactions. That's why it was so crazy when the carryover stuff happened, because we're like, whoa, you're gonna really let us take our cosmetics from this game and put them into the other game? You're gonna actually let us keep something from a previous game? It was just very unlike the Call of Duty formula. I don't know. I'm just really disappointed with the way that this is looking. For some reason, I was thinking that this would kind of have like a different sort of theme. We're going back to the Black Ops 2 era. Maybe we'll have brighter, poppier, punchier colors. I would just like it to feel different. Give me a little bit of eye candy. Make me feel excited to look at this. This screenshot is very, very boring, and it's just a screenshot. We haven't seen actual multiplayer gameplay. I'm just looking at this at face value, and I'm like, damn, this screenshot fucking blows. And I look at the other one, and I go, well, that one's pretty cool. We got this thing right here. Looks like some exo movement. It's giving me Advanced Warfare vibes, and I don't know. I'm disappointed. But in the screenshot here, we've got the RCXD as well. These two soldiers in particular don't look like they're wearing an exo suit. Looks more like armor on the guy on the left, and the person on the right looks like he was probably piloting something. These are more than likely bundles. That shotgun is reminiscent to the Remington, though. That's kind of sweet. And then like the BAL 27 maybe is in that guy's arms, but it's yeah, what you see is what you get. And then we've got like the initial welcoming screen for Parallax. Welcome to the CIP. Thanks for participating in our closed internal playtest. Jump in during the core hours, 12 to 2 p.m. and 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time each day, Friday through Sunday, to help us test out new maps and modes, and leave feedback in the Parallax playtest on Slack. I have no idea what Slack is. I'm assuming it's some type of like message board that's kind of like privated. The logo looks pretty sick. If you would have shown me this back in the day as like a teaser, as a leak for the next Call of Duty, I would have been shitting my pants, because this is the type of stuff that people would fiend for back in the day. If you remember Call of Duty Iron Wolf, you would have like the Xbox 360 like profiles with the stuff that people are playing. You'd have a little logo and it would say what they're doing. Back when like communities and stuff actually were a thing and people were really social, gaming just really isn't that way anymore. But anyways, there was a leak of sorts. It could have been fake, but the code name for the next game in the entry was Iron Wolf. Some developers had friends that took a screenshot of their profile. The logo was like something for Terminator. It was just really exciting. It had people theory crafting. There was tons of videos made about it. I went down rabbit holes of trying to find every little detail. Call of Duty just doesn't feel the same anymore. And then finally, we got a picture of Skirmish, a 20v20 mode. 2 teams of 20 people fight to compete in objectives across a large map, capture points of interest, destroy payloads, and transmit valuable data to score. Use your wingsuit to flank and reach objectives before your enemy. The first team to reach the score limit wins. Now, this is kind of interesting. Preferably, I would like Ground War from like Modern Warfare 2019. I thought that shit was really cool, and I definitely wasn't the only person that thought it was pretty neat. People would come over from Battlefield and be like, whoa, this is Call of Duty's Battlefield mode. It might be doing some things better than Battlefield. I like this and that. A larger scale game mode, and the skill-based matchmaking wasn't absolutely insane, but the skirmish mode here being 20v20, and it's talking about wingsuits, I am almost certain that this is going to be some recycled content from Avalon. The Warzone map that was never to be, it's going to be coming out eventually, and it's probably going to be repurposed for multiple things. I don't think it'll ever be like a Warzone map. It very well could be, but I believe it was confirmed that they're going to be releasing a different map, not Avalon, for Warzone, and that'll be put into like a rotation. Avalon is going to be used for the campaign setting, as well as some, I'm assuming, is going to be this skirmish mode. It's probably going to like cut up the map, and you're going to be able to fly down and play in some type of ground war setting. There being wingsuits for the 20v20 mode. Hopefully the map isn't too big, because you don't want it to feel like there's not enough action going on. When they do this shit where they make a huge map and then they take little sections of it and cut it out, it doesn't really work all that well, because you're really not thinking about the flow of things. The maps themselves usually turn out like hot dog shit. A really good example of this, and it's a recent example, Splitgate 2 has really big fucking fucking maps, and they're a part of their BR mode, and then we're trying to play like ground war on them. The map flow just does not make sense for that type of situation. I don't like it. I'm gonna check out Skirmish. I'm gonna see what the 20v20 mode is all about. Hopefully it's awesome. But another thing too is the Skirmish mode going to receive the same type of support as the rest of the game. You can't just release a multiplayer map and have that played in Skirmish. You're going to have to create a Skirmish map. At the moment, when it comes to post-launch support with a Treyarch game, Black Ops 6 being the current example, it has been absolutely atrocious. So I'm kind of worried about this game mode already, and if they're going to be doing what I'm assuming is segmenting off the Avalon map and using this as skirmish modes, how many maps can you get out of that before you run out of space and then you have to create new content? Maybe their plan is to take segments of the new Warzone map and put those into skirmish as well, but it is a concern that there isn't going to be enough content to even make this mode worth it. Other than that, the logo here looks pretty sick. There's not much of anything else really to say until we get more information, gameplay, stuff like that. I've been sitting here for a little bit trying to figure out how to end out this video and kind of like convey my feelings, but I feel like you already know how I'm feeling. I think you're feeling that as well. Call of Duty is in a weird spot. I think Call of Duty should have just committed to the full-blown XO movement, do Advanced Warfare 2, change up the title, give people a bit of a sense of a revitalization. I know that Black Ops 6 is struggling and they're probably scrambling to make sure that the next game is an absolute success, but when you're doing stuff like this, when there's just so many compounding issues that are so prevalent in Call of Duty that at this point, even the dedicated fan base, myself included, and probably you if you're watching this video, we are getting very sick and tired of the same old shtick, and I hope that it changes. I hope that Black Ops 7 is good. We're getting closer and closer to the release. There's gonna be probably a open alpha, a closed alpha, something like that. There's gonna be some type of testing, definitely a beta. In the last however many years since they've started doing the betas, it has been a staple of the Call of Duty cycle, so we'll just have to wait and see what Black Ops 7 holds. I would say I'm excited, but at this point, it's just, I'm kind of numb to the whole situation. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.